afternoon, everyone. My name is Simiran Choudhary, and I welcome you all to one of a kind initiative by Voice of Healthcare. That is Big Idea Voicing Next in Healthcare. In this series, we explore the innovation and ideas shaping the future of healthcare, from technology breakthroughs to policy shift, and dive into the key trends driving progress. Today, we are excited to welcome Mr. Mário, the President-Elect of Rotary International for 2024-25. With over 40 years of service to Rotary, Mário has played a key role in initiatives like polio eradication and global vaccination campaigns. Beyond Rotary, he's a respected business consultant in printing industry and has held leadership positions in various professional associations. In this episode, Mario will share his vision for healthcare, Rotary's plan in India, and the goals for his upcoming presidential term. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Mario. Welcome to our show, Mr. Mario.
Thank you, Samir. Thank you for the chance of and the opportunity of talking to you and your audience. Rotary is always willing to spread the word.
Thanks a lot, and I know and I appreciate the time you're giving us for this to spread that awareness and to spread the vision and the aim of Rotary for the next term. So, starting with your background and Rotary journeys, you have an extensive career in both business world and Rotary. Could you briefly share your journey with Rotary and what initially drew you to the organization?
To begin with, my father was a Rotarian, so I grew up within the Rotary environment. But then I had a chance to be an exchange student to the United States of America, Minnesota, USA, in a small town called White Bear Lake. And I had a chance to be an exchange student. And that really changed my perspective of life. When you go to live in a different country for a year, you return a different person. So after I graduated from my first degree, which is business administration, I decided to join my Rotary Club, my father's Rotary Club. And I was admitted at the age of 23. From there on, I became club president, then I became district governor, training leader, trustee of the Rotary Foundation director, and finally, the president of Rotary International, the fourth Brazilian in 120 years to do so. So that's, in summary, my career in Rotary, very briefly.
That is commendable, Mr. Mario. And yes, you have climbed the ladder of success and being one of the fourth member from Brazil to be part of this Rotary Club and to reach that heights of success. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
You have visited India extensively in the last couple of days as part of your Rotary leadership. What has been your experience in India, and how do you view the role of Rotary in this country?
Well, Indian Rotarians have provided me with a very intense program. I was in Mumbai, I was in Madurai, Surat, Hyderabad, Nagpur, and finally Kolkata in a week. So you guys play Rotary very hard, very intensively, which is good. I mean, India has presented very good results for Rotary in the last 20 years. You saw the membership grow from 85,000 Rotarians to 175,000, more than doubled in 20 years, more than 100% growth, which is unmatched, which is unrivaled in the whole world. So India is a very positive news for Rotary in terms of membership. But that's not only membership. In terms of fundraising, in 2014, India was only the recipient of donations from the Rotary Foundation, which is the humanitarian arm for Rotary. India's donated roughly $6 million in year 2014. This last year, 10 years after, 23-24, India donated $33 million, so 5.5 times more, and still receiving more money than it's giving. So India really is spearheading the effort to increase both membership and raising funds for our foundation, which at the end benefits the local communities of India. Be in the big cities, be in small cities, that's the purpose of the projects of the Rotary Foundation. And not only the Rotary Foundation, I mean, local Rotarians through CSR and through local projects, they are incrementing the activity of Rotary clubs locally and getting good public image, which becomes a virtuous circle. good public image, raises the interest to belong to a Rotary Club, raises the amount of money that we invest, raises the benefits that are funneled to the community, which, by the way, turns the wheel in a positive way. We want to see this replicated in some other countries.
I think in that way, and we know that India has a very good scope of development and progress. And nowadays, healthcare is one of our major aim to work on. And we guys are working a lot. Our country is working a lot. A lot of initiatives, policies are coming for that only. So, as a Rotary is a global organization, right, and with a strong presence in India, what are your thoughts of India's healthcare system and how can Rotary help improve the healthcare access and services in the country?
Rotary has been a partner in healthcare systems all throughout the globe. I have
Yes.
examples, for instance, in North America, where the U.S. government is asking for our help to test the American public for hepatitis. I have the example of Brazil, where Rotary is engaged with the local government in promoting vaccination of polio. And India is no different. Whether it's a federal level, state level, or local level, Rotary will always be a partner for good initiatives in terms of public health. The Rotary Foundation has 7 areas of focus, meaning we have 7 areas of projects that we invest money in. The main area in terms of money is disease prevention and treatment, which is entirely related to health issues. So Rotary is and will be always a partner with local governments at all levels.
Yes, we can see you again. Yeah.
Did I lose you?
Yes, that's not an issue. You can continue from where you were
Okay.
talking. You can continue.
No, it's okay. Yeah. And I think that, as I see it as a global challenge, and I can talk from the experiences I've seen in other countries. I've visited a lot of public health initiatives supported by local Rotary clubs here. I went to Madurai. I saw hospitals. I saw intensive care units for kids. I saw treatment for palliative, end of life hospices, uh, vans for blood donation, vans for eye tests, eye exams, vans for breast cancer detection. I saw a lot of initiatives, hundreds of initiatives that are carried out by local Rotary clubs, besides the money that's invested by the Rotary Foundation. I think the Rotary Foundation is just the tip of the iceberg. The real work, the massive work in public health, Rotary clubs in India, is carried out by 4,600 clubs. I think Rotary Foundation maybe represents 10 or 12% of the total effort. The total effort is much bigger.
And like you were giving us an example of Madurai and Kolkata and how things are working in India. So during your recent tour of India, what were the primary goals of your visit, right? And were there specific healthcare projects or initiative you were keen to explore during your visits?
Simiran, my main focus is development of membership because I believe that with increasing number of members, we can also increase our impact. You can do so much with 175,000 people, volunteers, but it can do a lot more if you have 300,000, right? So that's our purpose. We have to increase our workforce because we are workforce for good. We don't kill people, we save people. And we need more people like us, like the volunteers at Rotary, to promote the good causes of the world. And that's the main reason of my presence here. I'm here to teach, but I'm also here to learn. That's why I go to visit different projects, because every single project, I gain confidence that Rotarians at club level are doing what they're supposed to do. They're working for the benefit of their communities. At the same time, I learn and I teach a little bit of the lessons that I've learned from other countries, other regions of the world.
And I think that's a very good way to lead when you can learn and teach from other people. And, that's how we all progress together.
Yes, exactly. My function as President-Elect, Simiran, is to publicize the good work that one community does because we don't have copyright. A good
Yes.
example must be replicated. If India finds a solution for a certain problem, that solution may be replicated in Brazil or Nigeria or Zambia or even the US. I mean, Rotary is a global institution. We cover 185 countries, 33 different regions around the planet. Everything that we produce that turns out a good result in one part of the globe should be replicated in other parts of the globe. That's my mission, to publicize and advocate for the good causes.
And why not? If it is helping another country to resolve a problem, then why not to replicate? I don't think there's, like you said, there's no copyright there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are like the scientists. Scientists share their knowledge because they know they are not after the glory. They are after the results. They are after the cure. And
Yes.
Rotarians are pretty much like that. The true Rotarians are pretty much like that. We take pride in our achievements, but we also want to see our achievements replicated because Rotary is just one institution, globally speaking. We are just one body.
You gave us a very right example at this note. So, focusing on your plans for your presidential term, what are your focus points for your upcoming term as president, particularly concerning healthcare? So, do you have any healthcare initiative or plans for India in this area?
We must not lose focus on polio eradication. I mean, the polio eradication effort has taken us 40 years. We never thought it would take that long.
Hmm.
We thought that we would celebrate the end of polio by the centennial of Rotary in 2005, 20 years ago. The problem has unveiled several challenges that we could not fathom. That's the reason we resorted to partners. We are partners with the CDC, Center for Disease Control in Georgia, USA. We are partners with the Gates Foundation. We are partners with the World Health Organization. We are partners with UNICEF. We are partners with Gavi, the General Alliance for Vaccination. So we must not lose focus. We will not uh, begin another battle in health at this level. When I'm talking about corporate level
Hmm.
before the end of polio. When I mean corporate level, similar, I'm talking about 37,000 clubs united by one single project. It does not mean that every single club cannot initiate its own project. It should. But I mean, the problems in my community, Sao Paulo, Brazil, are different than the problems in Kolkata or Delhi or New York. So we give the clubs autonomy, flexibility to develop their own programs, locally speaking. But polio is the only program at the world level, and it's health related, that is covering all 37,000 clubs around the planet. And we will not think of another program at this level, at the corporate level, before we eradicate the last case of polio from the face of the earth. Today, we have 40 cases this year, 21 in Pakistan, 19 in Afghanistan. I'm going to Pakistan tomorrow, Thursday. Thursday, I'm going to be with officers from the Pakistani government to monitor what is happening in Pakistan to have 21 cases this year. So we must not lose focus from polio. This is a promise we made to the children of the planet. We've saved more than 20 million children from paralysis, from death. We're going to keep it. We're going to keep the promise.
And I think we have seen the efforts behind that promise, the extensive work Rotary has done in terms of polio eradication for India. We have seen the results are there in front of us. And I've heard this from a very senior doctor of, liver in India, Dr. Sareen. So he mentioned this in his interview that it takes almost a complete generation to eradicate any disease from the birth till the person dies. That's how you cut the disease from root, and that's how a country gets eliminated. Sorry, a disease gets eliminated from the root.
And India unveiled to be a surprise for Rotary. We expected India from the beginning, from the inception of the program in 1985, so almost 40 years ago. We thought India would be one of the last bastions of eradication, of polio eradication. But India has eradicated polio since 2014. For 10 years, India has eradicated polio. Why did we
Yes.
think India would be one of the last bastions of polio? For several reasons. Because complexity, the sheer size of the population, the logistical challenges, the health system, but it became a real positive revelation when polio was eradicated in India in 2014, 10 years ago. Um, the last country before those two countries, Pakistan and Afghanistan, the last before was Nigeria in Africa. So that was the last country outside of this duo to have polio eradicated. But it has been a tough battle. It consumed from 1985 until today 22 billion US dollars. 22 billion. When it was planned back in 1979, the perpetrators, the dreamers, the Rotarians and doctors who initiated thought that with 100 million we would eradicate polio. 46 years after, we are in 22 billion. That's the account that's the cost of polio so far. But we won't abandon the fight until it's done.
Yes, yes. And since we're talking about polio elimination, so India has been declared polio free, and thanks to Rotary sustained efforts for that. So, how do you view India's current polio scenario, and what lessons can global community learn from India's success in this?
The immediate threat after the polio is eradicated is to maintain vaccination levels. And that presents a dual problem. The government usually inserts polio in their health budget, polio vaccination campaigns in their health budget. That has been the standard. It has happened in India also. So once the government adopts the polio vaccination in its health program, the challenge is mobilize young mothers who haven't seen a case of polio, thinking that their children is immunized. They're not. I mean, polio comeback is just a plane flight away. If you get from neighboring Pakistan who comes to India with polio virus with him or with her, it will start the whole process again. So our biggest challenge now is to maintain vaccination levels at 95%. Our history shows that once polio is eradicated, the guards lower. So people think it is eliminated. It's not. We have to create a barrier. And the barrier is 95% of vaccination of children until 5 years old, up to 5 years old. I'll name the case in Brazil. Brazil, during the pandemic, the vaccination rates of polio dropped to less than 60%. Now it's coming back to 86% because of the actions of Rotarians with the government and the local clubs divulging, publicizing the need to keep a 95% vaccination rate to prevent the disease from coming back.
And I think you said it right. The most biggest challenge is to maintain this. And in any case, if we lose control of the policies, the plans we had earlier, so there's a possibility that it can come back, and we really do not want that. And we know for that, Rotary is working very hard. Our country, in collaboration with Rotary, is working for that. So, with the next step for vaccination campaign, with polio largely under control, what will be Rotary's next major vaccination campaign in India? Do you see new healthcare challenges arising that Rotary can address, especially in terms of public health?
It depends on the country's situation and the country's needs. For instance, in the United States, they're going for a hepatitis test and asking for help from Rotary. In Brazil, we are still promoting polio because our vaccination rates dropped. I don't know specifically in India what the government requirements in terms of public health will be, but whatever they are, there may be some more prioritized cases in India, some other diseases that I'm not aware of. But Rotary will be there to help. We basically have two powerful assets that we bring to the table. One asset is volunteers. We
Yeah.
do this for nothing. So every government loves Rotary because we don't cost a penny. You know, we make our people available, high qualified people available to promote the cause. And second is our advocacy. When we embrace one cause, we talk to people, we talk to politicians, we move budgets, we get the money, we find sponsorship.
Mr. Mario, I can't hear you. Yes,
I
yes,
think,
I can see you back.
can you see me now?
Yes, I can
So
see.
basically, Rotary brings to the table to any government. I don't know specifically what the next challenge from India will be, but Rotary will certainly embark on anything that relates to the public health and public interest. And not only public health, our agenda is much richer. We deal with literacy, we deal with impoverishment, we deal with child maternal health, we deal with macroeconomic development, we deal with environment, we deal with water and sanitation, we deal with peace and conflict resolution. Our agenda, which we call our areas of focus, has 7 areas of focus in which we invest money in. So it goes much beyond public health.
So just to add on to your answer, what you said, so currently our health ministries are making plans and policies for the HPV vaccination so that it reaches out to our females all over country, and have started some free vaccination programs as well. This year's in their plan, it is there. So because one of the cancer which have vaccination, which have a solutions. So on that, we India is looking forward for HPV vaccines. So maybe this could be our next challenge or next motto to get HPV, that virus eradicated from our country. So yeah,
It,
that is there.
it, it could be. So what I can tell you is that Rotary is testing the grounds, and I'll mention to you we have 4 projects of scale. Projects of scale could be the future embryos of the next corporate program. I'm not telling them they are because we were just piloting. The first one was malaria free Zambia,
Yes.
in which we raised $2 million. Gates pinched in another 2 million. The government of Zambia pinched a lot of money. So that was our first, what we call programs of scale. The second one was in Nigeria. The Nigeria, we were talking about neonatal care to reduce the rate of mortality of infants in Nigeria. The third project was cervical cancer in Egypt. So
Yes.
we promoted vaccination against cervical cancer in Egypt. And the fourth project is in India. India will develop better farming processes to enable 60,000 farmers to improve their revenues, to improve their income, to
Hmm.
provide for themselves and for their families. So if you ask me, we are testing the ground. We have 4 pilots going on, and these pilots are continuous. They still are going on. We initiate the pilot, and then we move on to the next pilot while the government and our partners continue with the pilots programs. But they all have the purpose of reaching out to a bigger population and not only a specific community or city or village. We are talking about a country. We are talking about eradicating malaria from Zambia, the whole country of Zambia, or to reduce the cervical cancer in Egypt to 0. So this is what we call large-scale programs, which might be, an inception for a future corporate program. It might as well be HPV. Who knows?
Yeah.
We are
Yeah.
testing. We're on the phase of pilot.
Yes. And I think that's how it works with the government and the organization to create sustainable healthcare solutions. Yeah. Moving on to my next question, Mr. Mario, on a personal note, personal regarding its personal motivation and legacy. So Rotary is known for its service above self. That is its motto. And what we got to know your journey when I asked you about how did you get attached with the organization, and you got in touch at a very young age, and how you climbed up the ladders, and now you have become the president-elect for the 2024, right, and 25. So, what drives your passion for service, especially in the healthcare space? And what legacy do you hope to leave behind after your term as president?
The passion for service comes from a very human sentiment called gratitude.
Yeah,
We are privileged. I had the privilege to go to an exchange student in North America in 1974, 75, 50 years ago. That was a life-changing experience. It opened up the gates of the world to me. I became a global citizen and not only a Brazilian citizen. I see things differently now. I enhanced my profession, enhanced my leadership skills. And I'm grateful for Rotary to have given me that opportunity. So I think this is the sentiment that is expressed in service above self. People like us who belong to a privileged class must be aware that we have to give back. Now,
yeah,
we are not taking any money to the coffin. We're not taking anything. The legacy that we leave into others is what matters. Not necessarily to others. To others, we leave physical things. Into others, we leave philosophy. We leave a legacy. We leave a better experience. We leave a life transforming experience. So the reason I joined Rotary was a sentiment of gratitude and give back to the society. And I think that is what should drive Rotarians. We have an opulent society in some places and people don't give a thing. I think that's very poor. That's very limited. I pity those kind of people because they are not going to leave anything but money. And we have richer experiences that we can leave for the future generations. We are just occupants of this spaceship. We are going to have to leave a legacy of a better planet to our kids, to our children. That's our mission.
that's very nice and great and noble what you said. And like you just mentioned in the starting, gratitude is one of the thing which we have to be. And that one thing, grateful for everything what we got. Like you said, you got an opportunity there when you were very young, and those things and the kind of privileges we have. I think that's how we got that motivation. That's how we got a reason. That's how we got that opportunities to work for the betterment of society, betterment of this spaceship, what you call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all have to have that sentiment because there is no planet B.
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
only planet we have. Maybe for Elon Musk with his spaceship to Mars, but for us
Yeah.
normal human beings, there is no planet B. We only have planet A, and we better take care of it.
We
And
have to
our
take care.
population, our kids, our future, because they inherit the earth.
Yes. Final, I mean, as you prepare to take on your new role, what final message would you like to convey to the people of India and the global healthcare community for the next term of yours?
I would leave for future Rotarians. We, my biggest effort is to rejuvenate our brand. We are still perceived as an elitist society. We no longer are elitist. We are inclusive. We are trying to include more and more people of diversity, more people of a different age, more people of a different social strata. We are trying to be more inclusive and bring people on board who share our beliefs. The only non-negotiable values are our values. Diversity, integrity, leadership, fellowship, and service. Those who will never abandon. All the rest is flexible. And we have to rejuvenate our brand. That's the message I leave to Rotary in India. We have to
That
bring younger people on board.
we have to bring younger people on the board, and India has the most young population. I think that is where possible, and we all are much aware of how desperately we have to take care of our community, our society, and our country. And that's how I think that's the motivation we'll work for. And thank you so much for working so hard for the healthcare and for the community, and for all the steps which has been taken for the betterment of the society, because it matters a lot. Rotary has played a major role since the start, and in any situation to manage it. So thanks a lot for all those efforts the organization has put in, you has put in since the start, because it matters a lot. And thank you so much for spreading this awareness and word with us to our audience.
Simiran, I'm the one who thanks for the opportunity to talk to you and your audience. Best of luck.
Thank you so much.